Hello, welcome to the live. I've been playing. Hello, Paulito. Hola, ¿cómo están? I upgraded my Zoom account today, and I was trying to see how I can go live on Zoom, and also I did a PowerPoint and see if I could show it, but I don't know if that's gonna work. I need to study it more. Let's see. ¿Dónde está? Welcome. Zoom. Okay. Aquí está. Hola. Oh my goodness, it's very dark. The clouds, it's very ominous, like something is brewing, which it is. And my house is in Florida. My sister, my boys with this hurricane. So, yeah. Hola, Paulito. Gracias. But so there's a lot of concern. Panama is safe. Panama does not get direct hit by hurricanes, and we get rumbles, maybe bands, so it lets you know that something is brewing somewhere, but we don't have the wind or anything of that yet, because Milton hasn't, I don't think it's landed yet. But the cone and where it shows it's gonna go right through from the Gulf to Orlando, where I live, Central Florida, and then go out to Tampa. And Tampa is not a well-planned. The Tampa St. Pete area, they flood very easy. So is that thunder? I don't know. I'm hearing something. But anyway, we are going to wait for a few more people to show up, and we are going to go. Let's see if I share my screen, if I can get, I don't know what I'm hearing outside. I'm trying to get home, but flights are crazy. Where is home, Paulito? Are you here in Panama? Thank you for posting this. What about Orlando? Oh yes, Orlando is right in the middle, because it goes from the, I think the Gulf, and then it goes through, it's just going across the state, and Orlando is right in the middle. Polk County, Lakeland, which is where I live, Winter Haven. But of course, the storm seemed to take a little shift south. So now all Sarasota and Venice, they're concerned. I hear tamborino outside. They're always beating those drums here in Panama. If you think Panama, sloth, fried fish, patacones, which is plantain. Think parades with the little drum. The kids love that. Think polleras, when they wear this pretty gown. That's all Panama. And in November, we celebrate two types of independence. On the 3rd, they celebrate independence. It's Spain and Colombia, and I always get the dates mixed up. I don't know if they celebrate independence from Spain first on November 3rd, and then on November 28, they celebrate the other independence, probably from Colombia. So the whole month of November is party, party, party. So we tell people don't try to schedule anything serious in November because their mind is not going to be on work. It's going to be, when can I go home? Where's the next fiesta? You know, and parades, you know, and it's a big deal because the government was doing their budget today, and they were talking about Cologne, talking about their budget. They're going to have big parades, and the kids, they have different schools have different groups that do parades, and they started to practice like 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I'm like, oh, already, yeah. And then the kids, the girls were, they're really, you know, like if you remember, like in the States when they show the HBCUs and their party, you know, when they do the parades during like the Rose Bowl or New Year's Day parade or Thanksgiving parade, that kind of parade. But I think they said they had like 54 bands that are gonna parade down. You know, we're all for it. And where I live, they always have parades coming down my street. So I just get out of my house and cross the street. But think about that. Those, the police is so involved with security in when they have the parades that sometimes even in front of my building, I can't cross the street to go to the stand. They'll say, nope, go that way. So I have to go around. And then they have entrance barricades. And when I need to go across, I have to show ID. And they don't play. And you don't fight and argue with the police here. They're not mean, but they mean what they say. This lady had an expired cedula, which is the national ID, and she was crying. She said, they wouldn't let me in. I'm like, lo siento, I don't know what to tell you. I'm a foreigner, I don't know. All right, 12 people. Do not schedule a trip. No, you can come, but just come thinking you're going to have fun, okay? Don't come trying to see if you can sign a mortgage for your house. Don't do that in November. But you can still come. You can, you know, all the restaurants. It's just going to be a lot of fiestas, a lot of parties, and people are going to be in a good mood. The cerveza, which is the beer, you know, they just love to enjoy life. And the whole month of November, they celebrate their independence from Spain and from Colombia, because I hope you know that Panama used to be part of Colombia. A YouTuber lives in Orlando and she did not evacuate. Orlando is not really in a flooding area, because Orlando is like in the middle of the state, so you're not like on the shore close to the water. So a lot of people decide to ride it out. Yes, I am in Panama, and in Panama, like I said, we may have, like, it's really dark and cloudy now. We may have some rain bands like we do, some wind, but it's not going to be a direct hit. You're never going to hear that they had a direct Category 5 hit. I think they say it's because of the shape of the country. But you know, they predict the big earthquake that's going to shake all the, what did they say? Any country along the Pacific. We are between the Pacific and the Atlantic, you know, so you just can't stop and worry about stuff like that. You can't wait. Demetria, hola. No Kwanda Magdalene. So wow, watching from South Africa. Oh my God, this is so cute. I was in South Africa last year. I was with the Peace Corps, and I was, you know, I'm not gonna say exactly where we were, but we were in a couple of, what do they call them? Province, a different province. And the only place I ended up going was Johannesburg and what's that other capital? Pretoria. Beautiful. And I saw the purple flowers. Where in South Africa are you? Just beautiful country. Hello, Maggie. I'm glad I'm catching a live stream. I'm so glad, Claude, you're not late today. All right, it's been 10 minutes. I think we're gonna get started. You know what? I'm so sorry I won't be able to show you guys my PowerPoint, but I am going to, let's see. I'm going to go ahead and, yeah, I'm gonna follow the PowerPoint just to make sure I don't forget anything. All right. So today, guys, we were going to talk about how to structure your channel for success. Okay, I'm gonna take my glasses off. I think I can still see the screen. And I know I said, you know, my under eye bags, and it looks like I have concealer. I don't use that. But anyway, just so that I don't have the glare coming from my glasses. Ooh, but I'm gonna have to do that if I wanna see who's on the screen. All right. So today we're talking about how to set up. And then you guys, if you have questions, just jot them down. Let me go through the PowerPoint and then we can take questions, okay? So hopefully we're not gonna be here for 2 hours. Again, the reason I'm doing these live, this is the second one, and maybe we'll do a couple more on Wednesdays, unless I see a need to continue doing it, is because when I posted the video about how a 66-year-old got her channel monetized in 4 months, I got a lot of questions and feedback that people said, you know, I had a channel, but I've been doing it for like a couple of years, nothing's happening. I have maybe 5 subscribers, 8 subscribers, and listen, a lot of people are in that boat. And like I said, I started YouTube in 2019, but I really did not understand the science behind it. And I did not see it as a possible source, another possible source of income, nor did I see it as a conduit for me to share a lot of information. I'm an educator by trade. I'm a nurse practitioner. I'm always doing classes. I taught a college course. I'm okay in front of the camera. I relate to people. I keep it light. That is something that a lot of people don't have. So that's another challenge. So unless you decide to start a YouTube channel and you're taking it seriously, you're wasting your time listening to me, right? Because these lives I'm doing is to help the people who want to grow their channel, who want some directions as to how can I get monetized. Well, you know, it's fun to do something for fun for a while, but it's really nice to get a little money on the side. Now, because before you even start record one video, or if you have some videos before you start rebranding after our session, understand that it's just like business. You have sectors. There are some sectors who are more, what's the word I'm looking for? You can make more money, right? So when you do videos about food, because it's so saturated on YouTube, you may not make a lot of money. But there are certain sectors where you make more money. And then we talk about maybe next week about the different ways you can make money on YouTube. It's not just from the ads. YouTube opens up a lot of doors for you, a lot of opportunities for you. So if you have a business and you have a YouTube channel, you can merge the two, use the YouTube channel to feed your business. When you finish doing your video, you could say, call this number, or send your email for this PDF, or something like that. And then you can recruit and get more clients, people who are coaches. They do really well with YouTube, right? Because you're giving free information, but at the end, you're hoping you're going to convert the viewer, some of them, into a client. So that's why I say in last week, those of you who missed it, and hopefully you watched the replay, I made the case for why, if you made the decision that's what you want to do, why YouTube is a good platform to do that, okay? And a lot of people have tried Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and what's the other one? Anyway, you know how they have a different one, Snapchat and all the others. But YouTube is by far the most, the way it's organized, it's the best platform for you to launch an idea or a business. And I made the case that because, and I give you a history of YouTube, how it was started by 3 college dropouts. They used to work for PayPal. And you know, you have these brainy kids because you know, Bill Gates and all of them, that's the way they got started, right? So they were struggling in the beginning when they were growing, and you know, growing pains, you don't have enough cash, you don't have enough talent. Then they got absorbed by none other than Google. So today, YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world. So some of the things that I say about why it is a good platform for you, especially if you are what I'm calling a seasoned creator. I don't say old. I don't want anybody calling me old. I know I'm old, but that's what I tell the sisters. We are seasoned ladies. We're not old ladies, right? So I'm going to go over that. And the title that I gave this presentation is How to Structure Your YouTube Channel for Success. Because hopefully that's why you're here, okay? I am making the assumption that you have already made that decision. So in my PowerPoint, I said, number 1, the case for using the YouTube platform. Number 2, search engine. It's got worldwide reach. You're not limited geographically, so it's not just in the US or in Canada. I remember when I was doing Amazon, yeah, I did try that. When I was doing Amazon, there was Amazon US, there was Amazon Canada, there was Amazon South Africa, so they were all a little bit different. You don't need that for YouTube. You don't need a license to do YouTube. All you need is a Google account, a Gmail account, and boom, you go. So how easy is that? So you could say YouTube for dummies, right? You don't need to be a techie. I am not a techie, right? I know enough to be dangerous. I know how to use email. I know how to do texting and stuff, but I am not, brainy and a techie. And you have no restrictions again. You can teach anything. You can say anything within reason. You don't want to be offensive or get yourself involved politically and start saying dangerous stuff. There is something called the YouTube police, just like there is a Facebook police. Trust me, they are active. If you post anything, they're going to take it off before you can blink, okay? And they will what we call demonetize your channel. If you start getting a few coins and you don't follow the rules, that's why when you get into the partner program, they have long documents of you will not do this, you will not do that you have to sign off and agree. So it's not just Wild Wild West, okay? Don't think because it's easy that it's unregulated. It's not, okay? And no restrictions. So multiple streams of income. The first way that you can make money once you become monetized is through ad revenues. So that's why you see so many ads running when your video is running. This is what feeds YouTube, is those ad revenues. What they decided to do is to share a little bit of that income with you. As little as it is, it doesn't matter. Take it or leave it. There is nothing you can do. You're not going to protest like we do here in Panama. You're not going to go say, we want more of the revenues. No, YouTube says, these are my rules. You either abide by them or see ya. You don't have to do YouTube. There was somebody who made a comment on my channel yesterday, and then she's like, I'm 60 or 61, she's worked, she'd had a career, and then she's like, I don't want to work hard. I don't want to spend time in front of the camera. I don't want to talk to people. And she said, when I saw the little check that you talked about, oh, I was laughing. And in my mind, I'm saying someone like that, if she starts doing YouTube, she's approaching it with the wrong, she's looking at it through the wrong lenses, okay? Because I always say YouTube is not a sprint, it's a daily walk. And when you finish, once we finish doing these lives, you're gonna understand that once you follow the system, once you learn the system, and like I said, some people say they have studied it and they have mastered it. I'm not there. I am not there. Like I keep saying, Mr. Google, he seemed to have left the building, but right now he seemed to walk alongside me because I keep getting some subscribers. So, but I can't verbalize to you exactly how it works. That's why you're constantly watching videos of people who call themselves the expert, and they'll tell you the basics of what you need to do to catch the attention of the algorithm. Because the algorithm is some kind of technical program that some brainy kid, designed. And it's like you have to do certain things. That's why you do keyword search. When you're talking about a topic, you need to say certain words, because those words get captured by the algorithm, and then they're like, oh, she said that, oh, she said that. I know that group there likes that word, but we'll go in to suggest that video to that person. I can't even begin to understand how all this works, but that's how it works. That's why if you want to be in this YouTube space, you got to become a student of the system. There is no way around it. You cannot come with your own ideas and say, I'm going to this and then it's going to work. And there is some brainy kid the other day I was watching. She said, I can make anything go viral. She's like a brainy 17-year-old. She probably can. I can't put myself in that category. And then this other kid said, I got 100,000 subscribers in 4 months. Well, bravo. I don't know how to do that. Nor do I want to put myself in a situation when I'm living and breathing YouTube. I have other things to do. I have other things to do. So I am not a die-hard YouTuber, okay? And I don't even think I'm a YouTuber with 4,500 subscribers. Nah, I cannot call myself that. But I am grateful that I put in the work, I followed the system, and it seems to have worked. That's what I'm going to try to tell you, that if you do the things that you need to do, you will eventually get monetized. But can I tell you it's going to happen in a month, in 2 months? It happened for me in 4 months. This young woman who is 51, she lives somewhere in the UK. She said it happened for her in 10 weeks. I saw this other girl who said it happened to her in 2 months. You know what I'm saying? So it varies. And I'm sure it depends on the amount of work they put into it and the system that they followed. What I find really comical, that sometimes I see a channel with like 365 subscribers, and then this person will say, well, if you want to go viral, you ought to do this. And I'm like, how come you didn't go viral? I don't know. That's what I don't call myself an expert. I'm still learning with you. I'm just sharing, okay? This is a disclaimer. Okay, multiple streams of income and unlimited opportunities, okay? YouTube is not gonna come to you and say, oh, you've been doing this for 5 years and you've garnered about $5 million. That's enough. You can go as far or as fast as you want. Once you meet the requirements, the 1,000 subscribers and the 4,000 watch hours, and you keep getting subscribers, people still keep engaging with your audience, you're still giving your audience what they're asking of you, and then the algorithm is loving you, you can keep getting those ad revenues, plus those other sources we'll talk about next week, okay? Now, there is a trend in the YouTube world these days talking about I'm calling the seasoned creators. You know, why, if you're 50 plus, you should start a YouTube channel. I'm not going to tell anybody they should do anything, right? The opportunity is there. It's up to you to grab it if you want. I am not here to convince you to do it or to tell you you should get out of it. No, that is not my job. My job is to share with you what I have learned so far that has gotten me to where I am, and then you can take pointers and go to work, because there is work involved. It's not free, okay? All right. Why are seasoned creators, older people, good candidates for being YouTubers, YouTube creators? I don't like the term YouTubers. I don't know. Something about it doesn't ring right with me, right? Why are we prime? Why can we position ourselves with success? And this person I was telling who was 51, she monetized in 10 weeks. I think one video she did resonate with so many people, and I think her first check was like $2,000 some, and she was elated. So that's when, once you get that first, second check, you're like, oh, they like this content, then I need to keep with it. That's why you always keep your ears open. You always read your comments. You always see if there is commonalities. You know, if you see 3-4 people asking about the same information, then that means you need to give them that information, and that's how you Wi-Fi issues. And you know, it reminds me of when I was in Florida. If you were watching television and there was like lightning, I lost signal, right? So let's do it fast before this goes off. We have decades of experience. One of the reasons why we would succeed on YouTube. We have wisdom. We have work experience. We have something to say. We have something to share. So right now, I need you to jot down, what is it that you are good at? What is it you can talk about that's going to be helpful to someone? What is it that you know that you want to share? Because you can educate on YouTube as well, right? You can share your life, but you can educate. Some people are, you know, have a blackboard and they're really like holding a class. So you can do all that. So do your self-assessment. If you don't already have an idea of what you want to do, this is a good exercise. Ask your kids, if you have teenagers, you know how they'll tell you the truth. They'll say, Mom, you suck at this. Oh, Mom, you're pretty good at that. Take it for what it is. Don't get offended, okay? Ask your friend, what do you think I could talk about on my YouTube channel that people would relate to? What would they want to hear from? From me. All right. So that's very important to do that assessment. Next, I asked on this PowerPoint, have you decided to do the YouTube thing? Okay. If you haven't decided and you're still on the fence, yeah, go ahead and keep listening. Maybe by the end you'll say, well, maybe I ought to give it a try. But chances are you've already started, you've already thought about it, and some people just need to get their mind straight and they're just totally all over the place. That's a danger I see. Some people say, oh, just stop talking about your life and then something will stick. You can do that. Some people chronicle, they vlog about their daily life. But what is the center theme of your channel? You have to have a theme. You have to have something that you want to share. Let me tell you, I'll tell you a bit of my story. I don't know if I told you, I started with Maggie Lazar. Then I wanted to be a nurse in the kitchen, like a chef and a nurse. That didn't really, and I know the reason it didn't work now, that because I didn't know the system. I wasn't doing it the right way. You post a video whenever you feel like it, you're not gonna get monetized. You're not gonna get successful on YouTube. If it's an haphazard, whenever you feel like it kind of thing, no ma'am, no sir, it doesn't work that way. So I changed the name again when I went to South Africa. I was going to be in the Peace Corps. I called it in-service retirement. I thought I was going to chronicle my experience with the Peace Corps. But when I came back home last November and I wasn't doing this Peace Corps thing anymore, I was like, well, I need to change the name. And that's when I started watching all kind of YouTube channel. And the idea for the name of my channel, Single Women Retiring Abroad, is I belong to multiple Facebook groups, of course, and I watch a lot of YouTube videos. I watch movies on YouTube because I discontinued my cable when I was in the state. So I started watching YouTube channel, and on the many Facebook groups, I could hear some women saying, well, I'm in my 70s and I'd like to consider Panama since you're saying it's so wonderful. How do I do that? Can I do that? Oh, I have these conditions, these health conditions. How is that going to work in Panama? They started asking questions about the food, housing, medical care. Now, there is another Facebook group under Stephanie Perry and Rashida Dow. Those are the queens of expat women, Black women expat. They had one little branch of their concept because somebody, again, like me, had a bunch of older women come to her and say, well, I'd like to know how an older person retires abroad. And then they guided her into starting a Facebook group that she called 60 plus Black women expats, right? So, but that is a global reach type of organization. But when I saw the questions that were coming in from the older ladies, and I'm like, okay, well, and that lady had expatriated to Ecuador. And I never thought about Ecuador myself. Well, I was here and I said, all these women are asking these questions. Well, I expatriated from the US here, so I have the question as to the how to do it. And I'm here. How about if I carve out a little niche just for women who want to move, older women who want to move to Panama? And that is how I found my niche. But you see, I started in 2019. And you see how I've evolved, it's changed. And that's what I'm gonna tell you. You may have a channel that you started like 3 years ago and it's not going anywhere. Maybe you haven't taken the time to ask those questions. You haven't done the research to narrow it down to what can I say? Another thing that we have, well, not we have, but that people who are successful on YouTube as seasoned creators is that you have, not even seasoned, I think anyone on YouTube, if you're talking about something, you need to know what you're talking about, because having credibility is one other thing that's going to propel you to success. You talk about something that you know. You don't want to have to go to Google for every episode of what I want to talk about and to do research. You need to do research, don't get me wrong, but the core message should come from you, right? I can talk about women expating to Panama because I've done it. I can talk about cuisine and cooking because I went to culinary school and I did it. So those two things give me credibility. So when I'm talking to someone, they're talking to somebody who knows the how, okay? So that's important. So hopefully you've decided to do this. Why do you want to become a YouTuber? That's another big question you have to answer. I cannot answer it for you. People do YouTube for a multitude of reasons, and we could be altruistic and say, oh, I just love people. I just want to share. And that's commendable, right? If you say, it doesn't matter if I make any money. I just want to share. But you want to share, but you don't want to share to the same 35 people month in and month out, right? Because it just kind of becomes discouraging when you say, who else is out there? Who else is interested in what I have to say? So having your channel grow is something that you want to show that that's your feedback, that other people are listening and responding to you. All right. So your why should be, maybe you want to side hustle, maybe you want to make some extra money, and it's okay. And I think last week also I talked about a young woman who said she quit her full-time job. She had enough, she did the math, she had enough job to live for a year, and she said, I'm gonna go all in on YouTube. I'm giving it 12 months. And if I don't make enough money to replace my salary, then I'll go back and get a full-time job. And that's okay. And I saw another young man today, he's a financial advisor, did the same thing. He said the first video, not the first, one of the videos he did in the beginning, a lot of people responded, and he said he enjoyed it so much. Some people really enjoy being in front of the camera and and relating. I'm not gonna say I enjoy it. I have fun doing it. Let's just say, because I'm always cracking jokes. But that's me. I try to keep it light because that is my my secret to interacting when I'm teaching something. Even when I was at the college, university, I engaged with my class, with my audience, because if you keep it light, people are more engaged and they're learning more. And then they're going to communicate with you, and that's how you build community. Okay? So what is your why? Write it down. Why do I want to do YouTube? Hello. And if you've been doing it for a while, is your why the same as it was when you first started? Maybe things have changed. Maybe you're older. Maybe now you're an empty nester. There are YouTube channels about women who are widowed. I can't talk about that, right? So if I went to say, that's why I had a problem with some YouTubers out of Africa. Sometimes, they come and they come, oh yeah, come to Africa, it's beautiful, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, you're in Africa? No, they are in Switzerland somewhere. And I'm like, okay, to me, you don't have credibility. Because when you're coming and you're taking pictures and shots, you're not talking to me about the daily life, what it takes to really, really live there. And one of them did move her family, and she didn't last. They didn't stay, okay? So be careful, be genuine. Don't try to sell something that you don't believe in, that you haven't experienced yourself. Because to me, I'm one of those that would click off and unsubscribe, because I just don't want somebody to feed me a bunch of, what. I want, give it to me the way it is. I want the truth. Let's keep it real. All right. So you need to know what your why is. And once you decide why you want to do it, it's like, what is it am I going to talk about? What is your story? What is it that will resonate to people? What have I found from my research? Like me, I was watching and then I'm taking note. Oh, she's asking about how to move over here. She's talking about security, social security. If she's got social security, can she make it here? Oh, she talked about, oh, I talked to my family and they were all against it. I don't know how to handle that. Oh, I can help you with that. I'm a psychiatric practitioner. They talk about the food. Oh, I love the food. I can talk about that. So you do your research, and then you can start a little bit wide, but then eventually you're going to narrow it down. And that's when you find your niche. You don't have to find your niche before you start your first video. Okay? That's not what I'm saying. But the goal is to find a niche. The people who become your people, who become your community. And I'm just so surprised because I have community now. I have people that I see talking to me all the time, and they look for my video. They say, oh, I watch for your video, because I do little short ones in between my big one that drops on Fridays. So there is relationship. That's what you want ultimately, okay? Because that's what's going to grow your channel. So what is your story? Are you going to be doing vlogs about your daily life? This lady I interviewed in Kenya, that's what she does. She gets up and she says she's got a couple of tripods, and then she just goes around. She's working in her garden, she's cooking, and she just chronicles her daily life, and she talks about life. And she's got 10,000 subscribers. So the world has billions of people. Once you find something that you know a few people are interested in, go for it. Be genuine, be yourself, start sharing. You know what's funny? People are always curious about how you live your life, believe it or not. I live a very boring life. In the video I did last week, because a lot of people were like, oh, we want to see your house. We want to see. People are curious. They're kind of nosy like that. And I say it with love, right? So start doing that. Don't tell them exactly where you live. That is not a safe thing to do because you're still online. But show your life around. Show your interest. There is this girl, what does she do? She does some artistic thing, watercolors, and some people are into making things. I was never good at that, but I can, like on Sunday now, I do my Sunday lives where I'm cooking, and people seem to like that because that's a passion for me. What is your passion? What is it that you're going to share? So I have cooking, lifestyle. YouTube is saturated with people doing makeup and styling. I could not do any of those because that is not me. So just don't try to change yourself for YouTube. Don't do that. Be genuine. Be yourself. And that's what people relate to. You know, the online people, the online space, they can smell a fake a mile away. So if you are not genuine, they will know, and they'll unsubscribe, they'll unfollow. So be yourself. Don't try to be something that you're not. Okay? Are you going to do pottery, painting? Are you going to give financial information? A lot of women are doing financial training for women. You know how we bought into having the big house, the car, you're in debt. Maybe you're teaching women how to get out of debt. Some women are teaching other women how to invest. Some women are teaching other women about lifestyle. There are women who are talking about healthy eating, whole food, plant-based. Are you going to vlog about your life? Are you going to talk about retirement? Find something. One example I could tell you, my story is, my niche is the single older women. That's why I have the name SWRA, Single Women Retiring Abroad, okay? But within that niche, I can talk about health, because that's something of importance to that group, right? Mental health, physical health. I can talk about my whole food, plant-based lifestyle, just encouraging them to live healthy. I can talk about how you manage your money, just so that you don't go out there, go crazy, and start going to all these places and blow your money, and then you're in debt. And then now I found you guys wanting information about becoming monetized. So you can have your niche, but maybe you find some other information that can complement your niche. Maybe they have some other needs. Maybe they'll say, well, how about that? What if someone said, I did my cooking show, and then this person said, can you show us how to cook plantains without oil? I have to do it, right? So be responsive to your audience, and that's how you build community. So decide what it is you're going to talk about, your story. You have to be clear on it. Don't rush to do your first video until you start thinking along those lines, okay? What is your audience? You know, YouTube will tell you, YouTube tells me the people who watch my videos are between 45, the larger percentage between 45 and 65. And then we have the over 65 is the second largest. So even though my videos are for the single older women, I have to decide, what does older mean? I don't want to annihilate my 50 plus women. If I got it in my head that my audience is 65 plus like me, I'm going to live out a big swath of my audience. So I need to do videos and do things that they can relate to. You don't want to ostracize and get rid of the people who watch you. They watch you because they trust you, and they trust you're going to give them information that is helpful to them. Always keep your eyes open for opportunities. Okay? And then you need to do research. Research. Talk to your teenage kids. Talk to your sisters, your brothers. Ask them, do you think there is anything I can talk about? What am I good at? Why would somebody come watch my videos? What would they want to hear me say? Then go on YouTube yourself if you have an idea. This woman is into herbal supplements, moringa. They're talking about soursop leaves and other things. So go watch other other YouTubers. I don't like that term. Other people talking about the same thing, right? So if you start watching those videos, YouTube, Mr. Algorithm, is going to suggest them to you. You know how many times somebody would say, I didn't know anything about you, but YouTube suggested your video. I get that a lot, right? So keep watching and take notes. Take notes of what they talk about. How do they present themselves? What is their background? Do they have something fancy? Are they walking on the beach when they talk to you? Are they in a natural environment? And then watch their successful videos and the one that had the most views, and study it. Study it. Is it the microphone? Is it the lighting? Is this the delivery, the interaction? What else? Is it the topic, right? What kind of value are people getting? And then read the comments, see what people say. And even when I was doing Amazon, it was the same thing. It's a universal skill. Amazon says there are so many products out there. So for you to find, you don't want to do another pen. So many people are doing pens, right? That's why I said, I don't want anybody to give me another. You don't want someone to give you another tie, right? If now you can't wear a tie in Panama. Well, they do, but so hot. But you want to find a product, and then you go on Amazon. You find a product, and then you start reading the reviews. And then all the things that people are complaining about, you jot them down. If you have a few people complaining about the same thing, Amazon, the trainers say, take that product, improve it, and then sell it. That's exactly what I'm saying now. Find the videos about the topic you want to talk about. Watch them. Read the comments and say what people are complaining about. If they're complaining about something, or they say, oh, I wish you would have said this, jot it down. Then you're going to talk about that. So somebody said the other day, nothing on YouTube is an original, right? Everything has been said before. You probably just packaging it differently. You saying it differently. So in my situation, they already had the 60 plus Black women expat, and they were talking generally about going to the different countries. And like the Stephanie Perry's, Rashida Dow, they were talking about, how do you expat, get your passport, get insurance, and that kind of thing. But they were talking to a much younger audience. I found a niche because so many, well, not so many, but a few older women were saying, what about me? What about me? And I decided to do the how-tos just to meet that need. And then eventually it expands, right? All right. So research, research, research. Watch others doing what you want to do. Study it. Study their style, their delivery, their script, and then ask yourself, how can I do this better? Because sometimes I'll watch some videos and I'm like, oh my God, that was so boring. And I'm like, oh, I don't want to be boring. I want to be engaging. I want to talk. I want to crack jokes. That's my style. That's different. So you cannot compare me with somebody else because my delivery is my own. So you need to find your own flow. You got to find your own flow. Okay? All right. So remember now, even though we're doing a live, you can still like and subscribe. Don't forget that. That's important. It's so steady. I'm so excited. I don't have a huge influx, but it's like every time I go, I look and it's going up and I'm so excited. And it looks like we're going to hit 5,000 sooner than I thought. And I have a really nice video this week. This week, my video is going to be about how older expats access health services here in Panama. And I interviewed someone, so you need to watch out for that video. All right, so now we got all the background work that you need to do, okay? And I'm telling you, don't scringe. Don't be in a rush to say, oh my God, I have to do a video this weekend. No, you don't. Not until you've done the homework I've asked you to do. Your why, your what are you good at, your story, your credibility. You need to write all these things down before. Your niche, your audience, even though it might change, but you need to start somewhere, okay? So you have to put some thought into it. Don't be in a rush, okay? So now what is next? So now you've done all this work. You have it, you have an idea. You may not be clear. I got clarity in January. And you need to set up your YouTube channel. Now, again, you know, like I said, I just signed up with Zoom, and I have to figure out how to do the live to show you guys. You know, it's like if I'm doing, I might do that. I might just do a video with the PowerPoint and then do it as a file. So if you guys want me to send you my PowerPoint, just put your email in the chat and, oh, no, not in the chat. Send it to me at tellmeaboutswra, SWRA @gmail.com. Tell me about SWRA @gmail.com, and then I'll send it to you as a file, okay? So if you haven't started your YouTube channel, you don't know how to set it up, I'm going to give you some, refer you to some videos, because there are some videos. You just go into YouTube and you put how to start my YouTube channel, and they're going to take you step by step. It's not hard, right? You need a Google account, it's free. You need a Gmail account, it's free. And once you have a Gmail account, you just go in there and you start a YouTube channel. But before you do that, you got to start thinking about names, right? So you know about your audience, you have an idea about your niche, you know what your passion is, you know what gives you credibility. What are you going to call this channel? And you need to take time again to think through it, because your channel name should tell someone what is your channel is about. There is a description area where you can go. They give you like 5,000 words, and you know, you don't have to use all 5,000. I am somebody with a short attention span. I tell people, if you send me like a long post, like I have people on Facebook saying, warning, long post, and I'm like, warning, I'm checking out. I am not. I can't sit there and read along. Okay, don't do that, because you're going to lose people that way too. But make sure, and that's the thing, you may do different takes of the name, write multiple ones, and then bounce it off with your friends. Say, what do you think about that name? I want to talk about that. Do you think it tells, you know, it kind of matches what I'm trying to say? People will give you feedback if you ask it. And if they say, oh no, that's a terrible, don't be offended. They're trying to help you, okay? So when I say single women retiring abroad, doesn't that tell you what I'm trying to say? Yes. So it's all about retiring abroad, and my audience is single women. Okay? And if I say retiring abroad, most likely we're talking about somebody of a certain age who is retiring, who's able to retire. So find your name, a catchy name. One of my YouTube channels' name was A Nurse in the Kitchen. I still love that name, but it didn't suit me so well. So don't be stuck. I want that name. It just needs to match. It needs to make sense. Ask for feedback. So set your name, find your name, and then you're going to write your description. This channel is geared towards, because now mine says, the single or older female who is thinking of retiring abroad. And then it talks about how the channel helps people get over their fear of retiring alone, because you're single, or retiring abroad alone. And then we take you to this step, blah, blah, blah. And then I say, welcome to your community, right? So you want to make it welcoming. You want to sound like you care. You want to express your empathy, your love. You know, you want to teach. You don't want to say, well, this channel is geared toward the dumb people who don't know what. You know I'm going to crack some jokes. But don't insult people with your channel's name, okay? Keep it positive, keep it clean. I don't know if Google, YouTube would let it go anyway. So that's how you're going to set up your channel. There is a section on the YouTube page once you're trying to get your channel going. It's called the name, the description, and there's a banner. The banner is a picture. And sometimes you might need someone to help you with that. You may need a graphic artist to come up with something that is going to talk to your audience, that's going to catch the eye. These people are trained about color mixes, because you may say, well, I want this in red. Well, it may not be the right color, okay? And then also for branding, you want to try to kind of keep things together. You don't want to go all over the place, and that's part of as you start getting better, okay? And then your picture, because under your name is going to be under, and then there's going to be a picture of you. Now, my pictures, I change every so often, right? But they're still my picture. But I think your banner is the most important thing, because that's the one that they see, and then your name is over here, the name of your channel is there, and then your description's there. So make sure you spend some time. When you go look at your competitor's channel, just look at their page, look at their banner, what it looks like. When you look at the banner, does it represent what they're trying to say? So my banners have been spots of Panama, right? Because if I'm telling them to come to Panama, I want to show beautiful beaches, maybe some specific monuments, something that catches the eye that says, oh, yeah, she's in Panama, okay? Now, I have a Facebook page called Single Women Retiring Abroad, and the banner, the picture there is a picture of a bunch of us at a party. You see, sisterhood, community. So make sure the picture conveys what you're trying to say. And think carefully, but be flexible. Like I said, it might change, because the exercise is you start somewhere and then you keep getting better and better and better as you do it more, and then you catch a few little things, say, oh, I should have done that. Oh, I like the way that looks. And then you keep changing your channel and it gets better and better, okay? But I heard someone say this week, oh, don't fuck this woman. And again, she's another one. She had like 500 subscribers, but she was in her car acting like she was the expert. I'm like, and then, you know, after 2 minutes, I kind of clicked off, and I'm like, lady, you can tell me how to do this well when you're not successful yourself. So you follow people who are doing things right, so you can emulate them. Don't follow the people who are down here and want to hold you there with them. No, 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 no. You're holding your stack up here, and that's where you're going. So you need to look at the experts, the people who have 1 million subscribers. When they say this is how you do it, you take notes. I take notes. All right? Be flexible. Okay, what else do you need? So you got your name, you got your YouTube channel, and you're like, oh my goodness, I have to get a video. Now, there is something YouTube call the intro video. You have an intro video. No, your page is just pictures. You don't have videos yet. But you can do like a 2-3 minute video just to introduce yourself to your viewers. And you can put that video in the front while you're trying to come up with your first video, okay? Do an intro video. Hello, welcome to the channel. My name is Maggie. I'm a retired nurse practitioner, retired fully in Panama, living my best life in Panama. This channel is about the single woman, blah, blah, blah. And then you time yourself with your phone so you don't go like 15 minutes. That's a video. You're doing an intro, so keep it to like 2-3 minutes, right? That's your intro video. And then when we go into the analytics, like on the last live that we're gonna do, we're gonna show you, hopefully I can show you my screen then, that you go back in there and then you can see there is another video that, and YouTube every week will suggesting to you, they tell you what other channels your audience is watching. How about that? And there is another thing in YouTube Studio that also say suggestion. They give you topics of suggestion, not just your audience. YouTube, the algorithm, Mr. Algorithm is talking to you, right? And then it will say, do a short about these topics. This is what people are looking information for. You don't think I'm going to listen? Yes, sir. That's free information. People are paying thousands of dollars to get a consultant come and tell me these things that I can find out for myself. All right. So I'm not paying a consultant. I go to YouTube Studio. I'm studying the algorithm and hopefully I'm going to master it one day. All right. So what else do you need? Fancy equipment. You don't. I am recording with you on my little Android phone right here. I have an iPhone, but sometimes when I use the iPhone for the live, there is like a little scratch that there isn't in this one, so know your equipment. Some people have fancy cameras. I do not have that. I have my Mac computer, which I love. The audio is really good. And when I go on YouTube on there, the picture is crisp as long as I am facing the window. That's other videos you need to watch because believe it or not, I heard, like I told you, I heard this person say this week, oh, you don't need to worry about the aesthetic. Just start talking. I've seen video people are talking and they're mumbling. I can hardly hear what they're saying. Are you gonna sit there and watch this whole video? Probably not. I don't. I've seen people watch their videos in their bedroom with no light and maybe like a little window over here and then it look all dingy in the back. I'm not watching those either. So aesthetics matter. So there are tricks and things you can do that do not require money. So you don't need to buy a fancy camera. I think if you have your iPhone and you have a tripod, I have a Dex tripod, that's what I'm using right now. But I think I'm going to get a tall one so that if I'm moving, I understand they have cameras that move with you. I don't know if I'm there yet, but it might make it a lot easier. So don't get caught up in, I need to buy all this equipment. You may not make any money on YouTube for 6 months. That's another thing this lady said. Oh, when you said you had that little check for 176, I was laughing. And I'm like, why? I won't be laughing in about a year, I can tell you that. But that's where you start because becoming a YouTube creator is not a sprint. Just like if you start any business, I've started a couple of businesses and I think I talked about it last week. There is something called the break-even point where you're just spending money feeding the business until you get to the break-even point, which means your expenses match your revenues, and you like right here, and then hopefully your revenues are going to go higher, and that's when you start making money. And that can take 2-3 years, and that's why most people who go into business unprepared, that's why they fail. They ran out of money. They did not do the financial pro forma and the projection. You don't start making money the first time you open your door. Okay? There is a growth process. That's why this girl says she quit her job and she's using her saving. More power to her. But I started 2 businesses. The first one, I cashed in my 401k. I did not borrow money from anybody. But I had a spouse who was supporting me, so I knew we wouldn't be in the street, we wouldn't starve. Because if you don't have the commitment as to how you're going to pay a bill because life happens, then you're going to fail. Right? And I've had people when I had my business saying, oh, I want you to be a consultant. Tell me how I can get a grant. I'm like, you want a grant to start your own business? Well, when you find one, come tell me. And banks do not want to lend with a solo entrepreneur with no financial backing. Sometimes they say, we want collateral, we want your house, any kind of land that you have, your stocks. So if you start YouTube, why do you expect to make money on the first month? You don't have a business mindset. And that's why a lot of people do not succeed on YouTube, because they look at it as a hobby. And you can look at it as a hobby, but don't expect to make money off of your hobby. But if you treat it like a business and you follow the system and you're consistent and you deliver day in and day out, and then every time you go check the analytic and you're like, oh, 2 subscribers in a week, oh, 3 subscribers in a month, it can get discouraging, but you got to keep plowing, because eventually one day you're going to wake up like I woke up on July 3rd and I clicked and I had 1,083 subscribers. Oh my God, I was so excited. I didn't see $sign there. It was just confirming that I had followed a system, I had put in the work, I was consistent, and it started bearing fruit. And that's what YouTube is. If you're consistent, there is no standard as to when it happens. That's why some people it happens for them earlier and some it happens later. But eventually it will happen. And if you don't learn anything from me, from these lives, listen to this. If you're consistent, you have an audience, you have something that people say they want to learn more about from the feedback you're getting from them, it will happen. But you have to be faithful. You have to be consistent. I'm sorry. You got to put in the work. So you don't need fancy equipment. All right. So when you start talking, you could sit at your desk. I'm sitting at a desk and I have a couple of pillows. And I used to have my face like this. And someone said, no, you need to sit back. So now I know now to keep some space from the top, right? Also, you need to learn to look at the camera. Find out where that little blue thing is on your phone and look at it. Because how many videos you've seen somebody talking and they're over here like, I'm like, you need to talk to me. I need to see your eyes. That's because no one had told them. You need to face the camera. If you have a fancy camera, you have to find out where the camera is. On my iPhone, it's up here, okay? All right. Also lighting. They talk a lot about the ring light. Yeah, I had a ring light, but when I moved to Panama, I gave it to my cousin. I haven't bought one. So now, because I live and I have like big, huge windows, I always record during the day. So I record like around 12, 1 o'clock when it's highest and it's brightest. And then I just have the God's given sunlight, and that's the best. But if not, you can have a ring light. Some people have those fancy lights like the photographers have. Eventually I might. They have studios. Eventually I might, but I'm not there yet. So don't let that hold you back that you need fancy equipment. You don't. You need your voice, your smile, your face, a phone, Android or iPhone. Just remember, now the live, I'm doing it like vertical. When you are recording for your video, it needs to be landscape, okay? So you do your shorts vertical, but the videos themselves, because you don't want your video to show and then you have the 2 black corners that scream not professional, and they'll tell you that. Okay, that's what you learn from YouTube University. That's what you learn from watching the creators who are killing it, who are successful. They get to a point where they have some fancy microphone. If you have a phone that doesn't have a good mic, you may have to get one of these external ones. You've seen people with little microphone clipped on their shirt, and some fancy when they're doing the, what do they call those? Podcasts, and they're sitting there like a fancy radio announcer. And I'm like, ooh, that's fancy. I don't have one of those. I have a cheap one over there, but I haven't used it. So you don't need fancy equipment, okay? So you need you, your voice, your energy, and then keep it light depending on the topic. So if you are a widow and you're trying to explain how you went through your spouse's demise, I don't want you to be like this. I can be like this because I'm just crazy like that, because I'm not talking about anything heavy. So your energy should match the topic at hand. And you need to kind of share your emotion through the camera, whether you're happy, whether you're concerned, whether you're sad. People want to feel what you're feeling. There's a young girl out of the UK, you probably have seen her. She's going through some really terrible cancer treatments. But it's funny because she has 104,000 subscribers, and she chronicles her cancer journey. And that girl, oh my gosh, she's so strong. She's going through a lot. And you know, it's funny, I'll wake up some days and just start praying for her because she's going through a lot. But when she puts a video and it says in 30 minutes, she's got thousands of people, because people are waiting to see what happened. She went to the doctor. You know, people are interested. You know, like I said, they might be nosy. Maybe they really care, but you know, from here and there, you don't even know who really cares, right? So you want your energy to project, right, through the phone. If you're unable to be personable, to relate, get started. The first video, I think it's Mr. Beast. You know, he's one of those ones killing it on YouTube. Oh my God. But that guy is crazy. But he says the first 20, 25 videos you do are going to suck. And I'm like, ooh, 25, maybe 5. Because when you go back and you look, you're going to say, oh, that was terrible. You know, the thumbnail was terrible, and I wasn't looking in the camera, and you kind of know what to wear, your hair. Anyway, so you learn by going back. And another thing he said, Mr. Beast, he says, try to improve one thing with each video that you do. Because you're a student. In between videos, you are watching other videos, you're taking notes, you're in school. So you like, and watch your own videos and critique them and say, I look mad in this one. I didn't smile enough. And smile with your eyes, not just some fake smile, right? And you could say, oh, I wasn't sitting right. Oh, I wasn't centered. Oh, the lighting wasn't that good. Keep improving, okay? Your passion and your commitment. Commitment also is going to be something that is going to take you forward. When you start YouTube, and everybody will give you a different recommendation. I got my name, my audience, my niche in January. I took Stephanie Perry's challenge. She had a challenge online that said, it was a collaboration, but I thought people who already had their YouTube channel, which I had, but I had like, I don't know, maybe 8 subscribers at that time with the new channel that I had redone when I came back from South Africa. And then the collab situation was, you know, if you have YouTube and you see someone by watching all their videos that you feel that their audience might, you know, have some affinity with yours or the topic at hand or your passion, just reach out and say, can we do a collab? A collab is like, you can invite me to your channel, interview me, or interview you on your channel, and then take it from there. But a lot of us in the chat, in the group, we were like, oh yeah, I'd like to talk to so-and-so. Let me have your email. And we did all that. But what I got out of that training that she talked about, she said, Oh, I started my channel. I forgot what year she started. She's got 174,000 subscribers now. But she said, I had very few subscribers, but then I did myself a self-imposed 26-day challenge. And I posted one video every 26 days. And then she said, I don't recommend that because it may not work for you. Guess what? I said, I'm going to take on that challenge myself. I don't care what she says. And I said, okay, I am going to challenge myself to post one video a day for 30 days without fail. But I had gone to exercise, do the exercise saying, I have my audience with single women retiring abroad. What are the topics that I can talk about that would be of interest to those people? Now, you want to make sure you're not going to have videos that are an hour long, hour and a half. People don't have that much of an attention span now, very short. So I was keeping my videos to like 15, 18 minutes. And I started jotting down all the things that I could talk about that could be of interest to my audience. Single, older women retiring here. And I think I came up to like 64 topics. So when I did my challenge for 30 days, I had the topics. I wasn't topic poor, right? And because the videos were not so long, it was short and sweet, so I could talk to a lot of things. So that's what I did. Even though the class was a challenge to do collab, but that's what I got out of it because my ears were open to what can I do that is different, that's going to propel me. And after I finished the 30 days, I said, I don't care if I only had 130 subscribers. I said, I'm going to stay consistent. So now I said, okay, not once a day, but I'm going to do one a week. And that's what I did. I stayed consistent. I stayed on message. I try to improve every day. And then I hired a virtual assistant from the Philippines because I am not technically inclined. I knew what my weaknesses were. My strengths were in the delivery, in the connecting part. But when it came to doing thumbnails, I wasn't that good at it. So that was an investment for me because I looked at YouTube as a business now. Because even though I don't have a job to say I wanted to replace my job, my salary, but yeah, I'd like to have a couple of $1,000 extra. I can travel, do other things, right? So that's what I did. But I've seen some creators suggest that in the beginning, because we're talking about getting your channel monetized, it's a good idea to start saying, okay, let me do 2 to 3 videos a week for however long you want to do it. And that's what this woman did. She said, I'm going to post a video was it every day she did, or was it twice a week? However often she did, she said, I'm going to do it regularly until I get monetized. And that's what she did. Because again, Mr. Algorithm says, oh, she's consistent. Oh, she's got an audience. Oh, her message resonates with people. Therefore, we're going to push that video. And what the algorithm does, it just suggests your video to more people. You know how many billions of people there are in this world? So even if Mr. Algorithm suggests your video to 1,000 people, not all thousands of them are going to watch, but even if 10% watches or 20%, that's how you get energy. That's how you gain subscribers, and that's how you get to your 1,000 subscribers fast. Consistency, repeat, repeat, repeat. Focus, focus. Don't go crazy trying to talk about everything under the sun. That's my advice to you. So commitment. We're almost done. All right. So my no-fail setup. We're not talking about technical stuff this week. That's next week. Get your name. Determine your audience. Find yourself a niche. Again, it could change. Be consistent. Stay on schedule. Because, once you develop your little community, they have expectations of you. If you say, I'm going to post a video every Friday, by golly, you better do it. Because they're going to start looking for it. And if they check to say, oh, you didn't do it, and you say, oh, I just didn't feel good, I did this, or I was on vacation, You're going to lose steam. They're going to go away because people's allegiance is fickle. If you don't give them what they want in the first few seconds, bye, Felicia, they're out. So you have to work hard to keep your audience, give them what they want, connect. So I hope you enjoy these tidbits. This is the end of this presentation today, to just tell you about all the things that you need to do to treat YouTube as a business and put in the work. Do your research. And your research is going to tell you who your audience is, and that's how you're going to find your name and the topics that you're going to talk about. My passion, nice question. Yeah, find out what you're passionate about. And you got more than one passion. My passion, I like to learn. I'm curious about the world, and I love to cook. I love to travel, but I don't like to fly. So that's, that's a problem. All right, this is the time for you to ask me a question. Why do they call smart people in America tourists? I don't know. I don't know what that means. Oh, America. I'm just thinking of the people in my state now, how worried they are. All right, guys, any questions from the presentation? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so that you know when I post another video. So my weekly video is going to drop on Friday. Do you know another thing that YouTube tells you? YouTube tells you when the people who watch you are online, and YouTube tells you when you should post, what time of the day you should post your video, so you're able to reach the people when they're watching. Okay, so you don't just say, oh, I'm gonna post my video at 8 a.m. Well, 8 a.m. people are working, they're trying to get to work, they're not gonna be watching your video. Okay, you can, like for me, I post my shorts during the week at 12 when people are on break, because that's what Mr. Algorithm tells me. That's when they start being online. My audience doesn't watch any YouTube in the middle of the night. They're not like, what do they call these people? Night owls, right? But you got to listen. So don't do things because you think or you want to. Do it based on what the algorithm tells you, what the stats, the data tells you, okay? Everything in YouTube is measured. Everything is measured. And the good thing is that you get lots of feedback from YouTube as to, like I said, they tell you who's watching your channel, what other channels they watch, which is, you need to watch those people's channels too, because that's where you get the tidbits as to what people want. They watch your channel, you should watch their channel, right? You look very beautiful. Oh, thank you. I am inspired to give it a try. Thank you for the information. Demetria, you are quite welcome. If you're seasoned, even if you're not seasoned, I'm sure you got something to say. Remember, there are like, I don't even know how many billion of people in this world. And somewhere, somehow, well, you know how it is. People are crazy and they're talking about all kind of craziness, and they have a following. So you can have a following. Yeah. But I'm not trying to, force anybody to do this, because it requires work. And I meet people who tell me, oh, I'm retired. I don't want to do any kind of work. I just want to rest. I want to go to play pickleball. I want to go to the restaurant. I want to go to the rooftop. And I'm like, go ahead, because that is not me. I'd rather be watching a documentary. I'd rather be learning something different. I better be in the kitchen trying some different recipes. That feeds me. So know thyself, okay? Do something you're passionate about. It's work, but it's enjoyable. Exactly. And that's what they say. If you want to be happy, find something you enjoy and do it. You'll never have to quit. You'll never have to retire, because to you, it's not work. Yep. So me, I just love to create and do different things. And like with SWRA, with our group of ladies, I'm always thinking of what can I do to connect and to bring them values? And, it ebbs and flows. But like last night, one of the ladies, in the chat, they get real busy sometimes, and she's like, oh, we are blessed to have each other. And I was sitting there saying, oh, that's what I want. That's what I work hard for. Okay? When somebody said, oh, you're a blessing to me, you're a blessing in my life. You don't have to give me $100. You don't. I have 2 niches. So do I need 2 channels or incorporate all into one? It depends. It depends on whether there is synergy between them or whether they're totally different. What I would say, start with one, get it to a point where it's self-sustainable, where you're getting steady income, you're getting, like myself right now, I don't think I'm ready to start another channel. Even if I wanted to do like a seasoned creator, I'm just thinking of you guys or the people like you who may be needing this information. I don't know. But I think my channel, my single women channel is doing okay. I think if I get to like 10,000, I'll feel more comfortable where I feel like I can get another channel. But it depends. I think I would put my energy in one to start with. Based on your research, will determine which one you start first. Where is the need? Which one would people want first? Which information are they looking at first? And then look at trends, because look at what's happening. The economy, look at the political landscape. With my channel, a lot of older single women are, because of what's happening in the US, police brutality and everything against people of color, that feeds people to want to escape and go somewhere else. So people becoming expat, it's like a movement now. People are leaving left and right. They don't all come to Panama. They're in Portugal, they're in Africa, they're in Ecuador, they're everywhere. So you want to seize the opportunity, whatever your niche is, okay? But there are some people who have more than one channel. This girl has 2 or 3 channels, and then what the YouTube police also will say, the danger is sometimes you would take something from one channel and you'll post it on another channel and YouTube will cut you off. They're going to say, you are reusing the same content. Therefore, you can't receive money on the ad from the original channel and then expect to get ad revenues from the other one. The police is there. And once you get into that situation with YouTube, it takes a lot of effort for you to, what do they say, you file an appeal, and yeah, try to do that with YouTube where you don't see somebody face to face, it's just email. Yeah, so I try to keep my nose clean, and my content is my own. I don't use people's music, people's stories. Just be clear. You have to read the rules. They're not playing with that. Demetria, I eventually want to move abroad and would love to have the extra income, yes, but also want to pursue my passion to help people. Or you're a nurse. But you could be a nurse and your passion could be inspiring to people. The money doesn't have to be the first denominator. The money doesn't have to be the thing that motivates you. Helping people. Remember, people are curious about what you're doing. So let's say you go on a mission trip and then you chronicle that. Maybe you volunteer someplace and you talk about that. People will connect with whatever you are doing. It doesn't have to be, you don't have to be motivated by money initially, okay? The money is going to come. It's just a side effect, not side effect. It's just like an outcome from your effort in sharing, okay? So they're not exclusive. That's what I'm trying to say. Latonia, got it, thanks. Any other questions, you guys? I was supposed to meet with this lady, and I hope she's not too upset, because when I realized I had double booked, and I'm like, oh, sorry, can we reschedule? I haven't heard back, so I'm sure she's upset. I'm sorry. All right, guys, do I sign off or are there any other questions? 11 people are still on. Any other questions? I'm going to sign off. Hope you enjoyed the information. Hello, where are you from originally? I was born in the Caribbean. I've been in the US since I was 18, and then I moved to Panama last year. I am looking to interview some retired ladies doing exceptional things. So if you know anyone, just shoot me an email, please. All right, guys. Kate Gipsy, thank you for tuning in. Let's face this. Oh, I like that. Let's face this. Good. All right, guys. You have a good evening. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you. Thank you for the support. And I hope I was able to help you. Please remember to like the video, share it, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done. You better be a subscriber. That's going to help Mr. Algorithm saying, oh, she's talking about helping YouTubers. Oh, yeah. So we're going to suggest it to more people. So I appreciate you guys. All right. Bye-bye. Okay. Thank you so much. I'll have a good night. You do the same. Bye. Mwah.